What's going on, guys? Today I have probably the most extensive video that you will ever see for completing Shadowkeep Storehouse. Not just the Storehouse though, we're going to start from the beginning. I will show you how to get every item of note in this dungeon. I will also show you how to complete the quest. I will skip dialogue and I will skip certain scenes so as to avoid spoilers, but you will 100% complete this area, everything in it. Let's get started. The main Plaza Graveside opens up after defeating a certain boss in the story. Once we do that, we have here, and this is our starting location. We're going to go west first from that gravesite, and then we're going to wrap around these stairs. At the start here, I was killing every NPC. Eventually though, I just started kind of running around, looting my items and kind of being on my way. Once we clear that room, we head right, and in this area will be our first weapon. I'm going to butcher this name, but the main Gauche. Afterwards, we're going to head back to the previous room and we're going to jump out the window. Be sure to go directly to the golden tree in the middle, the baby Erd tree there. You're going to pick up your first talisman, the Lord's Bestowal. Afterwards, you're going to head right or cardinal direction south from the tree and you will get to this area and you'll pick up a smithing stone. Once we are out of here, we're going to go back and we can fight this guy. You don't have to, you can just run by, pick up the item here. These enemy types do drop certain armors and weapons possibly. Right there, we just picked up a golden vow consumable. Afterwards, we're going to head to the left. We're going to fight this other guard, or again, you just run by, you loot your items and you kind of avoid. Some of these bosses are difficult. These compare in no way to the bosses when you actually get to the storehouse. And I'll bring that up again, why running around is sometimes the better option. Once we clear that area, we're going to go up the ladder here. And once we're up here, we're going to be in like the dining hall area. There are two enemies in here, one that is a ranged enemy and this one right here. You can fight them both if you want, pick up some of that armor, pick up some of those possible drops that they have. Once you clear this other enemy, there is a ledge. You can kind of see her on screen as I'm fighting here. There is a ledge here right there. That enemy gave me the Black Knight Helm. We're going to go to this ledge. We're going to pick up another golden vow consumable. It's a pretty neat little thing. You can kind of give yourself the golden vow without the incantation. A lot of items on this, and I will talk about this later on, that are not really worthwhile. They're not worth noting. You might need a pickled liver, and if you really are down bad for a pickled liver, there's one right there that we picked up. But afterwards, we're going to head east and then we're going to head down this large ramp here. You will open this door. Now you have a full east and west exit from the main gate plaza. Head back up that ramp and you're going to get to this location here. There are two summoning stones. If the summoning stones are not there, you might have to go back and talk to Kneedle, Leda, and Hornsent. Those can be found in the starting areas and one even outside as soon as you get from the castle Ensis exit here, right? That grace point right there. But you will be at this point asked to either assist Needle Knight or assist Hornsent. If that is not the case, like you don't see these stones, then you need to go back and talk to both Hornsent and Needle Knight Leda. But most likely Hornsent will not be there, just Needle Knight Leda. So speak with Needle Knight, exhaust the dialogue, come reload the area, rest at a grace site, and come here. Out of the two, Hornsent is the safer ally here. If you ally yourself with Hornsent, he will be there to help you later on in a boss. If you want Hornsent weapons, which is what I did, you can align yourself with Leda and you will do a quick fight and you will end Hornsent's line and you can pick up those weapons for yourself. Aside from also getting his armor, the drawback here is that you will not have Hornsent for a major boss fight in this dungeon later on. The safer option is to align yourself with Hornsent because you will be able to continue to progress both of their quests regardless, and eventually you can get Hornsent's weapons. Head east and careful not to fall down this ladder. I fell down this ladder. You're going to head underneath the waterfall, go down another ladder. Down here, there's going to be a painting that you could pick up. Oh, and by the way, those little shadow guys, they drop armor sets as well. Pick up the painting, and then you're going to head down further, and there's a coffin here. This coffin takes you to the Castle Watering Hole gravesite, which opens up that whole southern water area. You can go way down there for a lot of other items, good exploration. Afterwards, we're going to fast travel back to the gravesite, and we're going to head north. We're going to run past the Fire Knight there. You can fight him if you want. I'm just running by. And then we're going to take the elevator up. And now we've made it to the Specimen Storehouse. Once we load into the Storehouse gravesite, we are going to first grab the Revered Spirit Ash. This is located on top of the beast right in the center of the room. So we're going to loop around and we're going to grab it. I think you can make the jump from where I attempted right there. However, the other way is just to go around to the second floor. But we're just only going to go to the second floor for this one item here. There is a hidden shelf here that we will double back to later. Moving up here, at the start, I was just kind of killing everything every time I would reset a gravesite, but eventually I just learned to just run around, and that made it so much easier. Once we're at the second floor, we can jump over to the top of the bookshelves. We're going to jump up here behind the beast. We're going to climb the beast, and that will give us our Revered Spirit Ash. Heading west will give us an area here where we can pick up a rune arc, and there is an elevator shaft to go down. We are going to do this at the very end or near the end of our dungeon here. Afterwards, head back east, the opposite direction. You'll get to this area here. This is the right side of the room if you're standing at the gravesite. Once you get to the right side of the room here, we are now behind that hidden area, and this gives us the Pearldrake Talisman. There's the bookshelf that I mentioned earlier. We can open this up, and now we are out of here. Double back up those stairs, go up, make the second right you can, and this is our first NPC quest start here for Ansbach. Well, not the first, but this is like where we're first in this dungeon. After exhausting the dialogue, head out, and you're going to head to the west side of this area, and there is a item for you to pick up. Really not worth it, if I'm being honest, killing that guy for a smithing stone 8. I guess there's 5 of them. If you need it, kill him. If not, just run by and then run up to the next level. To try to simplify the naming of these levels, I'm going to refer to this area by the gray site. This is the Storehouse first floor. So we are kind of on the upper level, the patio area of this. You're going to head south on this upper area, and you will find a smithing stone 5. I know you might see some other items, but ignore them. We'll get them later. Heading north back up, we're going to head to the next floor, which I do think, saying here that I think this is the second floor officially. Once we're here, we're going to head to the south side of this area. There'll be some guys that are reading books. Leave them alone or kill them if you want. Heading south, we'll pick up a Furl Calling Finger Remedy, and then we're going to drop down this east ledge here and pick up the Dueling Shield. Get back to the previous location, and we're going to keep heading south here. You can kill these NPCs or you can just run by them, as I've said multiple times now. I think that is the better choice. Once we get here, we're going to head west. There'll be an item here to pick up on the right side. You can kill these enemies, but normally they don't aggro unless you like bump into them. Pick up the Beast Horn. There is a Fire Knight here. Just run away from him, please. Head back to the original area where you were at. We're going to now head west, and we're going to see another item here. It is a Beast Horn. This guy killed me multiple times. It was not worth it, okay? The Beast Horn was definitely not worth the 4 or 5 deaths that guy gave me. We have picked up everything on this area here. We're going to head south again, but this time we're going to jump on the toes of this statue here. If you know, you know. We're going to get to the head here, and we're going to jump over here, and now we've made it to the Shadow Tree Fragment. Pick up the Storehouse cross message. We have now made it to the 4th floor, which is the Storehouse 4th floor gray site. Gentle reminder, guys, if you're liking the video, please hit that like button. Please hit the subscribe. This was a lot of editing and a lot of retrial for me to do, and any support I appreciate. Thank you guys so much. Heading out towards that balcony area, we're going to head south. We're going to go up these stairs. There is a dead body NPC there on the right, has one of those fireflies. Not worth it, but pick it up if you're trying to get everything, okay? We're going to keep looping around. We're going to go down those stairs later, but we're going to go all the way to this edge, the north side at this point now, because we're kind of going around the entire outside tower here. Double back. Now we're going to go down those stairs and we're going to pick up the Shadow Realm rune. Again, a lot of these items that we just picked up, not really worth it, but I didn't know that at the time, but we picked them up. There is another pickle liver there. If you're down bad for those, grab them. Fight off the bats as best you can, or you can just run away. There is one item that we do need to pick up in here, and that's on the north side of this room, and that is this secret rites scroll, which you'll find right here. This is important because it helps us progress quest for the 2 NPCs that are in here. So now that we're out, we're going to come back out. We're going to head east up those stairs, northeast. We're in this next area here. First we're going to do is pick up the fire coil, because I know you guys like those minuscule items. In this area, the south side of this floor, there is a lever. This is a lever that is required to progress. It's going to start rotating everything, all the animals that are in the center of the room. And now we can get to areas that we previously could not get to. Keep heading up the 2 flight of stairs and you will find the 7th floor grave site. So this area will be referred to as the 7th floor grave site to keep things simple. You need to exhaust all the dialogue with Freya there. This is the other quest NPC that's in here. After you've exhausted all of that dialogue, you need to make your way back to Sir Ansbach. We have the fast travel, so it's going to be easy to do. Go back to that, it's that second right on the 1st floor. We're going to go back. We're going to give all the dialogue we can to him. We'll have 2 options at this point. One will be to hand over that secret rite scroll, and the other one will be to tell him about Freya's decision. If you don't have all the dialogue, you need to make sure you rest at a grace site so that it does pop up. In order to keep things spoiler free, I've kind of skipped a lot of like what you actually see. However, it is a huge revelation. So make sure that you go back and forth. You're resting and you're exhausting all dialogue. You'll get items from Freya that you have to give to Ansbach. You'll get item from Ansbach that you have to get to Freya. Eventually, it will lead to you getting a golden lion shield from Freya. At that point, rest again at a grace site. And now we're going to head to Ansbach. Freya will have disappeared at this point, so you won't see her again. Go back to Ansbach, and we're going to give Ansbach the message that Freya left him. After doing so, Ansbach will also disappear once you rest at a grace site, and now you have a decision to make. After exhausting all dialogue and resting and doing all the different back and forths, they will both leave the Shadow Keep. Head back to the High Cross grace site, and you will only find the Needle Knight Leda here. Exhaust her dialogue. She's going to give you a talisman. Rest, go back, exhaust more dialogue. She has had enough of Ansbach. And at this point, she's going to say, we have to kill him. You have a big decision here to make. You're going to head back to the storehouse. You're going to go back to the area where Sir Ansbach was. And then this time, there's going to be 2 summoning stones. One to assist Ansbach, one to assist Needle Knight Leda. Needle Knight Leda is out for blood. She's out for everyone. The safer option here, just like before, is to assist the person that Leda is trying to kill. That way you're going to progress both storylines. Killing Ansbach at this point, you will get his armor and a longbow. But if you choose to help Ansbach, then you just get a bow and you progress both quest lines further. Head back to the 7th floor grace site. We're going to jump on the back of this beast. We're going to pick up a spirit ash, a revered spirit ash. Then we're going to head west and we're going to jump off this balcony here. This will put us on a previous floor. But now that we've rotated the room around, we can get to this area here. We're going to do a little bit of platforming here. We're going to jump on the west side animal here, go up its back all the way over there. Those other items that you see, we'll get them eventually. We are going to have to fight a fire knight this time for sure. Heading up those stairs to the right here, there'll be 2 enemies that we can kill. We're going to get an Ember of Mesmer. Kill the NPCs that are on the left so they don't bother you during this fight. I am not sure if there's a spawn point here, so the run back isn't too terrible, but I mean, it is kind of bad, let's be honest. Killing the Fire Knight's going to allow you to open up the back door. I think you might be able to open up the back door if you just run by and you're somehow able to avoid the attacks. I think it will let you. Killing this Fire Knight will actually give us the armor, the helmet, and an Ash of War called Flame Spear, which is what the Fire Knight was using. Opening the doors directly behind will lead us to a Scaduu fragment. Heading up these stairs will lead us to a grace site here. This is a location of a difficult boss, some would say, very difficult. If you spared Hornsent at the beginning, then you can assist him at this point here. If you didn't, if you killed him, well, then you have to solo this. Moving back down those stairs, we're going to do a little drop down to grab another item. All the way down, you'll see this little balcony. Drop down, don't fall off. You have the grace set, so even if you do, you're okay. Looting the body down here will give us Impenetrable Thorns Incantation. Afterwards, we're going to fast travel back down to the first floor storehouse. Time to clear that west side ramparts here. We're going to go down that elevator that I originally at the start said we were going to do. See, I wasn't lying. We're going to clear it now. You can go straight for a couple of minuscule items. The only real item of importance here is the Ash of War right here, Wall of Sparks. So careful for that NPC that's right there. Grab the Ash of War. And now we're going to head to the lower floor by going north, and then we're going to go downstairs. But before we go downstairs, there is a hidden wall right here. It is a cookbook. So if you're down to collect those things, I know I am, grab yourself the Battlefield Priest cookbook there. Going down the stairs, we're going to grab a couple of items. One important, very important item, because it does give you an option for a quest later. The one that we're picking up here is called the Iris of Grace. We'll pick up another one later if you choose to, and this way you have both options available when it comes to decision time for another NPC that we're going to see in this dungeon. Make your way all the way west here. Careful for the NPCs. They'll eat you up. Run around them. Go all the way down. Continue westward, and you will eventually get to a grace site. This is the West Ramparts grace site. The door on the right will be locked at this point, so make sure you unlock that door on the right. You cannot unlock the huge double door. Now it's time to get on your horse here. We're going to have to head to the Bonny Village grace site. Trust me, we're going to do a lot of looping around, but this is part of the Shadow Keep here. Head to Morth Ruins grace site. It's located in this area on your map. If you haven't explored it, it's fine. There's no combat required. There are some enemies, you can just run by them. You'll drop down in the Morth Ruins and you'll make your way through this cave system and you appear right here at the Bonny Village grace site. Once you're here, you're going to head east. There is a weapon here that you can pick up. Just look around. There's a large blade, butchering blade, I believe. Bonny's butchering blade. Here on your right, there is a whip weapon. So you can pick that up right there in that little shack. But I digress. We're going to continue this road all the way around. Just stay on the road. You'll go underneath a huge fire giant boss. Keep going along this road. It'll kind of loop around. Eventually, though, you'll get to this huge tunnel system. There is a forager on the left, one of those little pest creatures that you can loot. It'll give you a cookbook. Otherwise, head in that tunnel, head all the way to the end, and unlock the Church District entrance grace site. Before we progress into the Church District area here, we're going to go to the Church of Crusade. This is kind of north of the High Crossroad grace site, and you might have already done this, you might have fought this guy, but you need to fight this guy in 2 locations to get all his items. One is in the Belleroot Tower early on when you start the new DLC, and then here. After killing the Fire Knight, his name is Queelign, you'll get a Ash of War Flame Skewer and a Prayer Room Key. Now, if you haven't, if this is your first time here fighting him, you'll fight him here, he'll give you some other items, and then you have to fight him at the Belleroot Tower to get the key. So you have to fight him in both locations to get all the required items. Once we're back, we're going to head back to the Church District grace site, and we're going to grab this item over here. It is the Grave Glovewort. Now we're going to do something, so if you don't get it now, you're not gonna be able to get it. We are going to head back to the grace site, and this time instead of going left from the church district, we're going to head right. We're going to do some scaffolding here. We're going to jump across. You're heading west. There are minuscule items here if you want to pick them up, you know, if you're down bad. Otherwise, head to the right side. You'll jump on a ledge. We're going to stick to this left wall here to avoid the fire knight that's on the top of this roof. He still might get you, but just get to this location. Now we are going to drop down. There is a crossbeam that you can drop down on, and we are going to head west. Trust me, I know there's a door back there. We're going to do this first. Head left once you get past the fire knight, and we're going to drain the water in this area. This is done for two things. This is so that we can get some other items, and also to be able to give us the option of getting that other iris that we need for a quest chain. So once you are here, you're going to go up this ladder. After the well is drained, make sure to interact with that. You'll notice that all the water levels have dropped. This unlocks a whole nother area that we can explore. There are not a whole lot of items down there, but there is the iris that we get from finding the ursulated spirit that's down there. It's kind of one of those tree spirits. If you fight that, you will get another version of the iris, which we'll talk about later. There are two items that you get in this next part here. Honestly, it's better just to stick with the iris of grace, because the other one, well, you got to fight that ursulated spirit down there. But really, the weapon that you get from doing the iris of occultation, which is from that spirit down there, the ursulated spirit, it's not really that great. The iris of grace that we picked up already will give us the spirit ash summon of this fire knight that we are doing. Anyways, the choice is up to you, whichever one you want to give. If you're giving the iris of grace, you already have it. It's easier. Fire knight, spirit summon there, Queelign. Otherwise, you have to go fight that tree spirit that's down there. Easy to find. The boss will find you. And the choice is really up to you at that point. The weapon's just not that good. I highly recommend just sticking with the iris of grace. So now we're going to head out this door. We're going to stay on this level, stay on this floor. You're going to get to that area where you went left. This time go straight and go into this middle area. There is an item there. I know it's tempting to try to jump. Don't do it right now. We're going to do it afterwards because we want to get to the grace site first. In case we die, we don't have to do all that jumping again. Once you get up on that elevator, we're going to be back in the storeroom area. This is the storehouse back section here, grace site. So unlock it. Now we can get some items that previously we could see while we were on the first floor, but now we can actually get to them. I made a mistake here of just critical striking the enemy, but that aggroes all the other adds nearby. So make sure you kill them first, and then you'll be able to get that critical strike on the Fire Knight. And behind this enemy here is the Carian thrusting shield. Grab that shield, and now we're going to head back. We're going to head south from here, and we're going to see a ladder. I still haven't forgotten about that item that we ran by. We're going to go get that in a little bit. First, we're going to head up this ladder, and we're going to grab a couple more items and another grace site. Once you're on top of this ladder here, and it's a pretty long ladder, there's going to be an NPC that we can critical strike. Easiest critical strike you're ever going to do in your life. Once you finish off the Fire Knight, get your revenge for all those times that the Fire Knights have killed you. There's one item here of note. It's just like a little mesmer, flame of mesmer here, ember of mesmer. We're going to head east up the stairs. We're going to go up another set of stairs, and we're going to wait so we can get a critical strike on this enemy right here. After we kill that enemy, kind of go back in the direction where the Fire Knight was coming from, loot the fire coil, and then we're going to head around here. There's some items to loot. You can kill these NPCs, or you could let them read their books in peace. Another Ghost Glovewort there, and then finally we can loot, if the enemy dropped it, a smithing stone, 2 of them. Getting to this edge here will give us an incantation, the Fire Serpent incantation, so that's a good one to have. Launches a threaded serpent flame in front in a direction. It's kind of like the ones that the Fire Knights have been using on you the entire time. South from that location leads you to a hole in the wall. You're going to jump out of there. You're going to head south, southwest. You're just going to go up around these staircases here. And this leads us to the Storehouse Loft Gravesite. We're going to rest here. Then we are going to head back to the Storehouse BackSection. Now we're going to go back and we're going to grab those missed items that we had previously skipped. The first one is a Scaduu Fragment, and this requires us to do a little jump. It's a difficult jump. You might miss a couple times, but hopefully my video here will help you not miss it as many times as I missed it. Call for the elevator, come back up, ride it back down. The mobs are going to be there, so you have to be quick here. Head back to this area, and remember we saw this little item here on the hand or the palm of the statue there. You can fight the NPC. I felt like fighting it was easier. That way I could take my time on the jump. Jump right on the palm from this angle here. Drop down, and then behind the statue, we're going to grab the Fire Knight seal. So that gives us the Scaduu Fragment and the seal here for incantations, if that's your thing. Head through the enemies. If you kill that Fire Knight, you actually get an item. It's a helmet. I believe it's called the Death Mask Helm. So you can do that if you want, but don't do it until you've come here to unlock the Gravesite. That way, if something happens, you can just come back here. Now, before we get to the loft again, we're going to go to the original location, the Storehouse first floor. Here, we're going to grab the Pearldrake Talisman +3, head to that second level area of this first floor Gravesite. Then we're going to head to the third floor of this, the top area that you can get to in this location. Head to the right once we get to that top level. You'll see this head right here that is now turned. That is the location of the talisman. There you go. Now we can go back. If you're in combat like I wasn't able to fast travel to the loft, so I just ran back to the original Gravesite. If you are not in combat, then at this point you're just going to fast travel to the Storehouse Loft Gravesite. We're going to take this little lift up, and there are a couple items of note here. There are bats up here, and there's even a fire net at the end of it here to top it all off. But we do want to get the incantation that's up here. So kind of just walk around, be careful for the bats. You can really just, if you're just quick, loot your items and then kind of go. There will be times, and they will hit you if you're on a ladder, so just be mindful of that. Once we climb up this ladder here, we're going to double back. We're going to go left, picking up a smithing stone if that's your thing. And then on the back side, or I want to say the east side of this loft area, you're going to do a little drop down, and that will give you another incantation. Just be careful jumping down. Obviously, you do have the Gravesite saved, but this is the Wrath from Afar incantation, so there you go. Fast travel back to the Specimen Storehouse Loft, our original start here. And now we're going to go to the left side. I do recommend the left side because of the Fire Knight that's up there. It's kind of on the right side, and you can use the lift that's on that side to kind of like LOS him, or line of sight, so that way you can avoid the attacks from that. Drop down once you get to this left side over here. You can see I kind of missed the jump before. Pick up your dropped runes if you have any at this point. And we're going to jump down to this balcony that is on the northwest side. There's a lift outside that we can get. We're going to take that all the way down. You might be asking yourself, there's still more items up there. Yes, that is true. But if you die, the run back from this side is much safer and easier than the run back from the other side to get to that Fire Knight. So we're going to go down the lift again. You can't open that door that's up there. You're going to go down this lift, and you will be able to open the door, but you have to fight a major boss first, and then that's what you'll come out of. And this is the Shadow Keep Backgate Gravesite. Unlock that, you can rest at it, and you can pick up this Scaduu Fragment right here. We will be going back to that Fire Knight, but first we need to grab an emote. This is called the Oh Mother emote because we're going to use it right there at that Gravesite. Head back to Bonny Village, and you're going to head north from Bonny Village. Little jump that you have to make over a ravine, and you'll head to this tree here. Now you might have already have this, but if you don't, you're going to grab it right here. This is the emote that you are going to use at the statue that we were just at, Oh Mother. So now fast travel back to the Shadowkeep back gate. We're going to go to that same tower where there was a Scaduu fragment, and we're going to use the emote Oh Mother in front of this statue. Keep that in mind for as you're exploring the rest of this game. For this particular statue, there might be hidden gates, hidden passages behind those. Once we use that Oh Mother emote there, the passage opens up. You're going to head out and you are going to be in the hinterlands. This is an area that you can explore later. This video solely focuses on Shadowkeep. Head back to the Shadowkeep back gate. There is another exit from the Shadowkeep back gate. If you take it, you will fight a boss. You can see my little runes there. I actually didn't know. I walked out there and there's a boss fight out there. Take it if you want. You can fight the boss if you want now. Otherwise, head back up the lift. We're going to head all the way back up and we're going to grab these items that we missed. There's a couple items left. The Fire Knight is a little bit difficult. You can get to a spot here from this lower area where you can, going up the first ladder, you can shoot the enemy with range attacks, even spells per se. Didn't work out for me. I don't do nearly enough damage. So I just went up the ladder, and at this point I LOS'd the lift with the boss. That way I could avoid it. I walked up, and this is why coming from this side's easier. And then I launched a fire flame of the Fell God Ball. Fireball, knocked it down, got my revenge for all those deaths that they did to me. Send the lift down but back out, because this is going to give us a way to get to this location to grab the Fire Knight. I believe it's Hilda Spirit Summon. Afterwards, head down the lift and we are going to get our final item here, which is going to be found on the right side. You can fight the Fire Knight, or you can go this way. I actually went AFK during recording, and so I wasn't able to flashback recording this, but there is a rune of Unsung Hero there, and there is a chance that the enemy will drop a Fire Knight sword. Thank you guys so much. I hope this helped clear all of the dungeon for you. Good luck and take care.